Unless we reach the real information, we are still not well educated about our investment. Now, let me try to help you guys. I know when I say about stablecoin and talk about $200, $1,000, $4,000 in price, without listening to the data and facts presented here, fools will just start to bark now. But those who have the cognitive ability will read through the documents and facts which I am presenting to you and then choose what to believe. Now, why will the price of XRP be higher? Because we are looking at the assets in the books of central banks. They have foreign exchange reserves there, they have gold reserves, they have liabilities, so they have a hell lot of things in their books. We can just look at 10-12 countries and do the math. If you are getting value out of the content, please do support the channel, hit the like button and the subscribe button followed by the bell notification icon to get notified about the future videos. Welcome to the Scientific Investor channel, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. In a document which details the viewpoints of IMF, they talk about synthetic central bank digital currency, public-private partnership, and stablecoin that remains fully backed by the central bank reserves. Now, yes, don't start thinking in the wrong way. In Payments Canada website about evolution of the cross-border payments, if we actually go through that, yes, that's a lot of information, but let's just focus on the key information here. Let's just zoom our eyes into the needed information. That is this one. Stablecoin refers to a class of digital currencies which are relatively stable in terms of price, and they are mentioning XRP and XLM there. So hope now the doubts and questions regarding the term stablecoin as per these government document usage is solved. Now the question is why the price should be higher, like $200, $1,000, $4,000. For that we need to do the math. We can see majority are talking about just gold reserves, and actually I wanted to say we have much bigger things to talk about, because if we are looking at the total gold market, it is like $8 to $10 trillion. Yes, it's a big amount, but remember this, central banks doesn't have all of it as reserves in their books. Many or majority is with individuals, corporations, businesses and all. So instead, what we have to look at is different areas, say like FX reserves. Just for 10 nations, it's like $12.9 trillion. Now, if you look at the XRP supply, let's say for next 2 years. So if we assume for next 2 years, the supply, say it will be somewhere around 60 billion. So the question is, what will be the price of XRP? So based on the FX reserves of $12.9 trillion and supply of 60 billion of XRP, what should be the price of XRP? If we do the math, we get something like this. It should be around $215 or above. If you really appreciate the content, please do hit that like button. Now, in the previous videos, we just discussed about documents which says synthetic central bank digital currencies will be backed by the central bank liabilities, and other documents which are from World Bank and all, stating that central bank assets will be used to back up the synthetic central bank digital currency. So if we look at the liability of just United States, it's like $62 trillion. Now, moving on to the asset side, for just United States, it's $270 trillion, just near to that, right? So keep in mind, this is just for one country. So how this will actually reflect in the price of XRP? So based on the same 60 billion supply, we will do our calculation. So in that one, the first thing is the unfunded liabilities, right? So we just saw that it is $62 trillion. So if we are doing the math, we will reach around $1,000. Think we were actually doing for $12.9 trillion of FX reserves and it reached $215. So it's kind of, you just have to multiply that with 5. So not accurate, but approximately we are reaching there. Now the next area is the asset side. So based on the assets of United States of America, which is $269 trillion, if we do the math, we get this, that's $4,500. Wow, that's actually huge. Now remember, when I'm talking about all these things, at the same time, I'm also going through, scientific articles, research data, a lot of things. I actually wanted to present all of these to you guys today, but this video will be much longer if I'm gonna do that. But I'm just going to introduce you guys some information which is really important to connect with that. So this is one. Here, after conducting this research, the researchers actually concluded this. They actually did for EOS, Tezos, XRP, and they're actually stating that capacity to carry out high throughput. However, meaning these networks have the ability to do that. However, the massive potential of those blockchains has thus far not been fully realized for their intended purpose. So the capacity is there, but they haven't actually used it into the full leverage. Now this is another article talking about the research of cryptocurrencies, basically based on XRP precisely. And when we actually reach the page 10 of this one, we get this area, the highlighted area. You should actually read it clearly, keep that in your mind, and inform your friends, community members who are involved in XRP. First, XRP is not just an asset, but a switch that modulates the XRP ledger. So to activate an account, open a trust line, and issue offers on a distributed exchange, currency exchange, everyone needs to hold reserves in XRP. Remember that everyone needs to hold reserves in XRP. This turns XRP into a battleground between competing interests. That's LETS. Supporters need XRP to be cheap to activate trust lines and to pay transaction fees. Traders want its price to be volatile to make higher margins. Payment providers want XRP's value to be stable to mitigate the exchange rate risks associated with the bridge asset aspect. So still you can actually see there are three viewpoints. If you are as an investor looking at this, you will be just looking for the volatility and the price movement to the upside. But as we just went through, the entire blockchain is not actually experiencing its full capacity. It's not yet started experiencing that inflow, right? But if we actually look at other areas, say for example in this particular document from the European Central Bank, they actually tied a project with Bank of Japan, which is Stilla. Now when you actually come into the 7th page of this particular article, you can actually see they actually selected two private sector initiatives. One is from Ripple and the other one is from Swift. Think Swift is a giant which is there from 40-50 years, and Ripple came just now. Now Ripple is being invited into this one, and if you actually read through this is World Wide Web Consortium, which is working for the ILP protocol. Now that's Thomas and Schwartz. When they are talking about the ILP protocol, Intelliledger Payments, they are connecting to this one, Thomas and Schwartz 2015. Now that is this one kind of, Ivan Schwartz. We actually discussed about this particular item yesterday, talking about different blockchains, their connection, Intelliledger Payments. So once these are actually really put into practice to execute the entire capacity, that is when we will actually see all of this pick up. And we just discussed what the capacity is, right? So if we are actually reaching these levels of capacity, the price will be at a level which no one can actually imagine as of now. But yes, if we do the math properly, we can understand that it will be moving kind of through this way. Before ending this video, I think you guys need to go through these documents as well, because this really gives an importance why XRP will have all these things which we just stated. See, this document from Bank of England actually shows a proof of concept which was done with Ethereum protocol. Now when they actually used this, they actually wanted to study about the distributed ledger technology and all. Now these are the following area which they were actually looking at and the next steps. So one is scalability. We know the issues of scalability for Ethereum network, then security, then privacy, then interoperability. We know how that will work. Then sustainability. If you're looking at energy consumption and all, proof of work sucks, and that's why they are kind of moving towards proof of stake again. And after this, if you actually look at this proof of concept, Bank of England actually did another proof of concept with Ripple. And why they are doing that? They are looking at it on settlement of payment using interledger, meaning they're connecting different ledgers using Ripple's protocol. So in both end, you kind of have different ledgers, but it is moving through Ripple's protocol. So when you actually come through this proof of concept, you can actually see that they used the interledger protocol to provide suitable technical solutions in all different scenarios. Now if you come to the same section of reflections and next steps, you can actually see that cross-border payments when applied to the wholesale market present different challenges. So they are looking at the retail and corporate transactions using Ripple's product. Now if you actually come back into the top of this, you can actually see this. They were actually doing high value cross-border payments. The test was aborted. So it's not actually a small thing. And at the conclusion area, they are actually stating they actually have to do much more of proof of work concepts to study more and understand about this, because the interledger protocol was actually able to do what they actually wanted. So just based on the regulatory clarity, they are actually going to implement this, because as they do that, the ILP validator create a single source of truth between two ledgers, meaning it was actually able to do two messages at the same time. That was not actually the case when they were actually using the legacy system. Hope you guys received enough value for your time spent in this channel. Please click that like button, and if you are new here, please do hit that subscribe button. That supports the channel a lot.